Tomorrow, September 5, is the United Nations International Day of Charity. It marks the anniversary of the death of Mother Teresa, but more important, it calls governments and citizens to action to help alleviate humanitarian crises and human suffering. And you can be part of that, even in very simple but critical ways, like a meal for a neighbor without, a few dollars in the hands of a street person, mentoring a young person in your community, and many other little things that don't ask much of you but can have a profound impact on the lives of others. Think about it and act on it, tomorrow and all the tomorrows that follow. In the meantime, thanks for making it Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome.
There's a power in the faintest heartbeat that cannot be denied. Go on and trust yourself. You can ride the wind. You're gonna take your dreams where they've never been. There's a hero in everybody's
Tamara McHale joins us next with the latest news developments and later, charity in the community. We explore the options.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your JIS News for Thursday, September 4. Government has signed 3 loan agreements with the World Bank valued at $105 million. The loans were signed by Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips on Tuesday during his visit to Washington in the United States to engage in high-level talks with various stakeholders. A release from the Finance Ministry said the loans would support 3 main projects: the Foundation for Competitiveness and Growth, youth employment in digital and animation industries, and the Strategic Public Sector Transformation Project. The 3 projects will also further the 2014-2017 country partnership strategy between the government and the World Bank. They will also support government's investment in key areas, including fiscal sustainability, youth employment, public sector modernization, and enabling private sector growth. In the meantime, the Inter-American Development Bank and the government have also signed a $300,000 grant. It will support the development of the Mobile Money for Microfinance M3 project, which is being done in collaboration with technology company Transcell Limited and other industry stakeholders. Meanwhile, Jamaica has improved 8 places on the Global Competitiveness Index and is now ranked 86 out of 144 countries. The country was ranked 94 out of 148 countries in the 2013-2014 report and 97 out of 144 the previous year. The new report was released on September 2 by the World Economic Forum. It assesses the competitiveness landscape of 144 economies, providing insight into the drivers of productivity and prosperity. The report defines competitiveness as a set of institutions, policies, and factors that determine the level of productivity of a country. The Global Competitiveness Index is captured under 12 criteria, including macroeconomic environment, health and primary education, labor market efficiency, technological readiness, business sophistication, and innovation. Jamaica is to benefit from a regional project aimed at creating a fully functional electronic public procurement system across the CARICOM Single Market and Economy CSME. The Regional Integration Electronic Public Procurement System should be in place by 2016 and will involve establishing and maintaining a regime for the free movement of goods and services within the CSME. It's being implemented by CARICOM with funding support from the European Union in the amount of €600,000. Recommendations for the project were discussed with representatives from both the public and private sectors at a 2-day consultative forum on September 3 and 4 in Kingston. The ultimate goal is to integrate the regional market for trade in goods and service, which is about $17 billion annually. 1,567 houses have been constructed island-wide under the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing Food for the Poor housing project. Minister with responsibility for housing Dr. Maurice Guy gave the update during a recent ceremony to hand over more units to beneficiaries in Eastern St. Thomas. The project involves the construction of 2-bedroom wooden units for the indigent and less fortunate persons, free of cost to them. The cost of $6,400 per unit is picked up by the government through the Petro-Caribe Development Fund and Food for the Poor. Through the Jamaica Emergency Employment Program, JEEP, many persons are also being employed on the project.
To date, 4,608 persons have been employed on this project through the collaboration of JEEP. Personnel employed range from masons, carpenters, plumbers to unskilled laborers. Think of the multiplier effect this will have on the families impacted all over the island.
Minister Guy says a partnership with the Hurricane Sandy Relief Program has also facilitated the construction of another 471 houses.
We are talking about benefits on various levels. It means that several families now have a roof over their heads. It means that thousands more Jamaicans have become proud homeowners. It means that they have owned a piece of this little rock we call Jamaica.
Meanwhile, government is looking to top the $22 billion spent in the last fiscal year to provide housing solutions for Jamaicans. Minister with responsibility for housing, Dr. Maurice Guy, says the ministry will also be focusing on the infill housing program by making more serviced lots available and improving existing ones.
The ministry will be rolling out another 143 lots to house Jamaicans. We are not unmindful of the plight of many Jamaicans who are in need of a house. And that is why this ministry, with its many stakeholders, continue to work assiduously to address the situation.
And finally, September 13 is the date set for the official funeral for the late Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Roger Clark. The service is scheduled to take place at the St. George's Anglican Church in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. Interment follows in his home community in Williamsfield in the parish. Minister Clark died on August 28 in Florida. He was in the U.S. recovering from surgery for a back condition. His body is expected to return to the island on September 10. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
This is a JIS oldie but goodie, a timely reminder of the many ways you can help develop your community, a charitable act that delivers personal rewards for your own advancement.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
The eyesore of a community gets tidy because citizens feel they have a responsibility to act. A building gets a well-needed facelift and gifts for those in need. At-risk youth benefiting from academic and skills training, while poor performance gets tackled through extra lessons. All through the efforts of generous hearts, making tangible contributions and creating positive change. It's all part of nation building, inspiring hope and rewarding oneself with the joy of sharing with other people. And what better time is there than now? I've been thinking lately, and I think you should give it some thought too. The development of my community needs my input. But where do I start?
The very first place that I would encourage anybody who wants to be a part of the community, who wants to resolve to be active in their community, is to be a part of a community-based organization.
I I firmly believe that participation is important to the development process. Action at all levels, all age groups, for deeds, not just words, get the job done. Communities need the participation of its able citizens to do something to create positive change. Do you agree? What can we do? Volunteer, share good ideas, help fix a problem, show love, show that we care, if that's all we can do. So much to complain about, things not being done, the things we need for ourselves, for our communities, the plight of the less fortunate.
I tell people all the time that I think Jesus was a community development officer because you don't see Jesus in the church every day sitting down, worshiping. You see Jesus in the streets, in the communities, right? So even in churches, be a part of the outreach groups in your church.
Where I live should be the best place to live. So issues such as roads, housing, water, sanitation, crime, unemployment and training is of concern to me, and it should be of concern to you too. Now is as good a time as any to give a helping hand through greater community participation. And I therefore resolve to do more to help. You should too. As a citizen, I know what's best for my community, the real needs. And waiting on governments to make decisions and effect change for me is not something that I'm inclined to do. I am subscribing to the idea of community self-help. The thing is, my participation as well as yours can help to solve our problems, but it will mean getting involved in a more organized way.
Under the local government reform process, the SDC has been very instrumental in setting up community development committees. These are umbrella organizations that captures the community-based organizations in the community. Then it provides an excellent opportunity to deal with the issues firsthand.
Together we can plan and implement projects using our expertise and resources to develop our community. While I make my resolve to be more active, why not join me? There are no age or gender limits for the willing and able. The various community projects and services that we'll have to carry out requires not only our time and expertise, but also funding. And here, the Social Development Commission comes in handy, getting formal development plans in place and helping with accessing financing through the Jamaica Social Investment Fund and other donors.
There are strength in numbers, so when a group represents a major concern or a minor concern within the community, you find that they will be heard on not just from the end of the government, but from non-government organizations, businesses.
So much we can do, starting in our own backyard, then join others to work on issues we care about. Less hoping, less watching, less despairing, more doing. It will certainly contribute to a stronger, more self-sustained and organized country.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. There'll be a better tomorrow. 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 There'll be a day. There'll be a way. There'll come a time to sing a brand new song. There'll be a better tomorrow.
Guys, I'm not ready.
Ready long time. Let's go. Ready, Mona?
Yeah. Oh, Shelly, I have a file for you for tomorrow, okay?
Alright.
I'm gonna leave it on your desk.
Sure, go right ahead.
But Shelly, you don't shut down the computer.
But it not gonna do nothing.
But of course, when you leave it on, it burns excess energy.
I say go?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you know that the country foots the bill to import the fuel that produces electricity? Let's all play our part to conserve on energy by ironing once per week, unplugging all appliances when not in use, and avoid keeping the refrigerator open for a long period of time when removing food. Get smart. Don't get left in the dark.
Open Bible Church, Vacation Bible School, and you're watching the
Recently, government presented Jamaicans with a special gift, just in time for the country's 52nd anniversary of independence. This was no act of charity, but rather evidence of government working to lay the road for Jamaica's development. Still, the results are essentially the same, a people empowered to solve their individual crises and create a path to prosperity.
Another milestone achievement, Highway 2000, the centerpiece of Jamaica's multi-year Millennium Projects program, continues to unfold. It's a 4 to 6 lane controlled access tolled motorway with grade separated interchanges and intersections built according to modern international standards. The goal is to connect the capital Kingston with Montego Bay and Ocho Rios, passing through St. Catherine, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover and St. Anne. Highway 2000 was conceptualized by Dr. Kingsley Thomas, the first chairman of the National Road Operating and Construction Company, NROC. Initiated by the government of Jamaica in September 1999, it was announced by then Prime Minister P.J. Patterson. Under his watch, phased construction of segments of the East-West corridor was completed by French investors Bouygues Travaux Publics. By 2006, the entire segment from the Portmore Causeway to Bushy Park in Clarendon was completed, and Jamaica celebrated this historic achievement. Under subsequent administrations, work continued, leading to an extension from Bushy Park to Sandy Bay and from Sandy Bay to May Pen. Then in 2007, Cabinet approved another contract with Bouygues Travaux Publics to carry out the design and construction for the north-south corridor of Highway 2000, also known as the Mount Rosser Bypass. After some unexpected challenges and delays, a new company was brought on board to finish the work. In June 2012, the Portia Simpson Miller administration signed a concession and implementation agreement with Chinese firm China Harbor Engineering Company, CHEC, to do the job. The North-South Highway is intended to connect Kingston with Ocho Rios and provides an alternative to the Bogwalk Gorge, Mount Rosser and Fern Gully. It's divided into 3 segments, from Ferry Caymanas to Linstead and from Linstead to Moneague, with a third segment stretching from Moneague to Marmy Bay in Ocho Rios. Segment 2 from Linstead to Moneague is arguably the most significant road infrastructure engineering project ever done in Jamaica, given the technical expertise needed to construct the roadway across difficult hilly terrain. The 19.3-kilometer 4-lane highway was completed in mid-2014.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted today to declare Section 2 of the North-South Highway open as an Emancipendence 2014 gift to the people of Jamaica.
As part of this gift for Jamaica's 52nd independence anniversary, motorists gained the privilege of driving for a whole month on this segment of the highway without paying the required toll. But far beyond that, the benefits and possibilities for economic advancement being created by the highway are huge. It gives meaning to the argument that the road to development is paved by the development of roads. This one coming as a private investment of over $720 million represents a strategic policy direction of private sector-led growth, even for public infrastructure.
We're well on our way to our national economic goal on the road to growth and development. There can be no turning back.
The completion of this section of the toll road has immediate benefits in terms of the reduction of travel time between the north and south coast. Reduction of travel time between the two coasts will translate immediately to increased productivity and result in significant savings for all who utilize the bypass in terms of expenditure on gasoline or wear and tear on their motor vehicles.
The overall North-South project is being implemented by way of a 50-year concession agreement that allows the investor check to recoup its expense, after which the government will take over responsibility.
Today, we celebrate a long road to strengthen our economy and the heart of our longtime friends from China who have helped us to make it possible.
The highway will open up new areas for housing, commercial and resort facilities and help to reduce rural to urban migration by encouraging persons to stay in their communities and work elsewhere. 1,200 acres of land adjacent to the highway has been allocated to China Harbour for further development. Under the concession deal, the government is ensuring that Jamaicans also benefit from technology transfer and guaranteed employment, as there are limits on the number of expatriates who can be employed through the life of the project.
We are determined to run our government as a viable economic enterprise for the benefit of our Jamaican people.
The linking of the major resort towns of Montego Bay, Falmouth and Ocho Rios to historical and cultural attractions in the capital city, as well as the old capital and Port Royal, is real and exciting.
The ability to fully integrate all economic regions of the country has always been hampered by inadequate road infrastructure. The opening of this Mount Rossa bypass, to be followed over the next 18 to 24 months with a completion of sections 1, ferry to Linstead, and section 3, Monigue to Ocho Rios, will present unprecedented opportunities for further investments by entrepreneurs.
It's now up to local entrepreneurs to tap into those opportunities and create wealth by investing in and moving Jamaica forward.
This is one time we don't want you to laugh.
Staying safe on the road is a serious thing.
Mr. Taxi driver and bus driver, take time now, man. People, say one-stop driver and come off.
Cyclists, motorcyclists, pedestrian, all road users using the head.
Only if you use cell phone and drive. No, man.
Idiot thing that.
Road safety is no laughing matter.
Because we want you to be around
and laughing with us for a long time.
A message from the National Road Safety Council and National Health Fund.
Up next, we borrow from the Friday Catalogue to spotlight one school's brilliant initiative to promote good behavior among its student population while giving them extracurricular assistance to support their overall well-being.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them.
Welcome to School Zone. I'm Tamara. Now behind me is a group of students, of course, who are shopping. What are they shopping for? Well, today is supermarket day at the Norman Gardens Primary and Junior High. So come, let's find out exactly how this behavior modification program is working.
Be a good student, do my work, behave, help my teacher, clean the classroom. Yeah, so I'll get points and they transfer to money, so we'll just come here and shop.
In what is considered an inner-city community, the school's flagship behavioral program, Supermarket Day, has been turning heads. It's gaining recognition as a creative and strategic program to improve the academic and behavioral standards of students while bringing positive transformation to their wider community. But how can shopping in a school supermarket create change?
We have a set of criteria in terms of if the child does homework, they might get 100 points because we're having difficulty in that area too. For PTA, our PTA was very dormant, so to encourage parents to come out, we gave points when parents show interest and come to the school, they attend PTA, the children also get points for that.
At the same time, they are made to recognize that as you earn for doing well, there are consequences for negative behavior and action.
So if a child is in a fight, they will lose maybe 25 points. If you're suspended, maybe 100 points, and so on. And at the end of a period, we add all of that and we deduct. So they end up with a final score.
The Norman Gardens school community is excited about the initiative. School Zone experienced that excitement at the official launch of the shopping extravaganza at the end of the school's term. What did these youngsters gain from spending their hard-earned printed cash?
Macaroni, mackerel, rice, Lasco, Milo, oil, flour.
Wow! So what's it going to do with all of that food?
Give money for her to cook it. Rice, oil, and sugar, macaroni, and biscuit, and Milo, sardine, cheese chicks, and biscuit, and macaroni, and rice, and flour, and cornmeal.
The Ministry of Education has taken note of this ingenious behavioral modification program and has high praises for its practicality.
I feel most encouraged. It shows that the school is innovative, starting out as a program for behavior modification in which students are rewarded for good behavior, but is that expanded into something much greater.
Greater indeed, as the program has been helping not only the students, but to a wider extent their families, helping to cater to their needs and allowing parents to save on grocery purchases. Norman Gardens Primary and Junior High School is making a difference with the help of corporate sponsors like Grace Kennedy.
We have a general slogan that whatever is good for Jamaica is good for Grace Kennedy. And here is a community that is focusing on a very positive program.
So what impact has Supermarket Day had on the students?
Great, because it encourages students them to behave properly in school, in class, earn their points to come and shop.
No doubt, this very unique program is changing and transforming the lives of the students while reaching their parents and the wider community. Quite effective.
We want to change something, and when we change the behavior in school now, and we appeal to that part of the children, that inside part of them, that will cause them to be better citizens. It's our country that's going to benefit in the long run, isn't that so?
Supermarket Day at Norman Gardens Primary and Junior High School has been truly a great initiative and no doubt a wonderful behavior modification program that we commend. Tune in next time for more on School Zone.
We're all out of time, but I think it was time well spent, don't you? Tell us what you think. The email address is jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm, or if you prefer, we're also on Twitter and Facebook. If you feel the burning need to rewatch this show or any other, we operate a website, jis.gov.jm, and you can search for us on YouTube. I'll see you in a few days, but another colleague will guide you through another exciting program tomorrow. Till then, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.